What's going on, everybody? John Walker back again with another Digital Juice tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to get started using drag and drop with Adobe After Effects. Now, drag and drop is a product from Digital Juice that does exactly as the name is implied. You take your file, you drag it into your timeline, drop it onto your footage, change the blend mode, and you're going to get a unique and interesting result every single time. Now, drag and drop is designed to work with any nonlinear editing software or motion graphics or design software that will accept QuickTime movies, because these are just QuickTime movies that are digital downloads from Digital Juice. So let's go over to digitaljuice.com and check out how you would get that. Download it, put it in the juicer, and we'll get started. So I'm going to go over here to Digital Juice. The first thing you'll want to do is make sure that you are up to date with the latest version of the juicer. Now, the juicer is a free download from Digital Juice. You can go over here and download the latest version, and it is compatible with Windows and Mac OS X. So no matter what editing software you're using on any platform, you got the juicer and it's going to work with you, and you're going to be able to use drag and drop no problem. Now, first thing you'll need to do after you download the juicer is, of course, purchase drag and drop, and you can buy what you need when you need it. You can buy either each individual part of drag and drop, or you can get the entire collection if you want to. So you'll go over to your account after you have purchased drag and drop, and then you need to go down to Digital Juice Downloads. Now, this is a part of the website where you're going to be able to see every single product you have purchased that is available for download. I have all of the Light Leaks packages here. I have, the drag and drop packages here. I have Light Leaks, Damage Control, Glitch Effects, Bokeh, Reflective Thoughts, Unnecessary Roughness, Film Clutter, and Light Sweeps. These are all of the current Digital Juice downloads for drag and drop. If you only purchase Light Leaks, you're only going to see Light Leaks. If you only did Damage Control, you're only going to see Damage Control. If you got all of them, you'll see all of them just like this. But regardless of which ones you purchased, you have to go to this Show Available Files for Download, and it will show you everything you're going to need to download to install this product. Now, Light Leaks has only 4 parts, and these are 1080p QuickTime movies, so they are going to be large sections, because there are a lot of these have 40, 50, even more clips for you to use. So each part of this particular one, Light Leaks, is over a gig, so it may take you a little while to download, but I love the ability to be able to just go get it when I need it. If for some reason I have to format my hard drive or I need to reinstall it, I can come back to Digital Juice, download it, and get it immediately. So what you would do is, if you're going to install part 1, you come over here to download, and I'm in Firefox, so it's going to give me this prompt if I want to save it. If you're using Safari or something like Internet Explorer, it will probably just begin downloading, but you can click Save File, and it's going to start downloading. Now, I have already downloaded all of these, so I'm going to skip over to the juicer and show you how to install it once it's already been downloaded. So let's go back into the juicer here, and I'm going to go to File, Install Downloaded Content. Now, in my Downloads folder, that's where my default downloads go to when I download something. Here is Drag and Drop Light Leaks Part 1, and something that is very important to remember, you need to install these in order. There's going to be like a Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4, etc. You need to download and install them in order to keep for confusion, because if you possibly do this wrong, it could give you issues when you're trying to use the product. So be sure to download it and install it in the order that you need it. So I would go to Open, and that's going to prompt me with this license agreement, and I will agree and continue. And then it's going to bring up the installation wizard, where it's going to ask me where I want to save it. Now, I have an external hard drive where I save all of my Digital Juice content. And I highly recommend doing this, because it is a much easier workflow, and it's also less taxing on your system. You'll want to have, these are going to end up being gigs and gigs of space. And unless you have a gigantic system drive, I would highly recommend getting it off and putting it on an external drive. Just makes it easier. And if you have to take it with you somewhere, if you go into another computer, you go into the office, you're going and you need to take that content with you, you can. So I'm going to install this on an external drive, but I have already installed this, so I'm not going to click install, but here you'd click install and it would start going. And once it's installed, you're going to show up over here in your tree panel of your products. Now, by default, this will show you all Digital Juice products in the juicer. And I have, just for the purposes of this tutorial, changed it to show my products only because I have only got drag and drop installed because I just wanted to make this easy and avoid any confusion. So here is drag and drop under my animations heading here, and I'll twirl this down and it's going to show you all of the drag and drop products that you have installed. And I, of course, have all of them here because I wanted to show you an overview of what Digital Juice has to offer. We have light leaks, which light leaks are really cool. Light leaks are whenever, pretty much like it says, light leaks into your shot. And usually it's almost like a lens flare, but not quite. And a lot of times it's really hard to recreate this look. And it's really a happy accident when you get this beautiful kind of light leak into your shot. Well, what's amazing about this is now you can have a happy accident whenever you want because you have this collection of amazing light leaks. One of my favorites is the Magic Mist Magic. There it is. I really like how it just kind of creeps into the edge of the image. So that's really cool. We also have film clutter, and film clutter is film clutter. It is pretty much scratches and damage that's on film reels, and you can composite that in and make it look like that you have some, you can put it over your footage, make it look like it's throwback footage. We even have some cool countdowns that you can do some kind of countdown at the beginning of your film or whatever you're doing, your commercial. Just a bunch of cool stuff. It's very, organic, lots of real damage. It's very realistic, so it gives your footage a nice, realistic kind of throwback look. Now we have bokeh, and bokeh, if you've ever shot with a DSLR or any sort of large format sensor camera where you can actually get nice shallow depth of field, whenever you're shooting lights, it will give you what's called bokeh, and that's these nice geometric shapes where here it's a circular shape, and you can get different types of shapes based on what types of light you're shooting, the type of lens you're shooting. And here these are more square and hearts and stuff, as you can see, tons of cool little stuff. And I really like bokeh. Bokeh is very beautiful and gives your footage a very elegant look. And then we have unnecessary roughness. And unnecessary roughness is a very loud, organic style. You're looking at this going, what in the world would I use this for? Trust me, I have done really cool stuff with this. These are very hard to create. This is nice animations done by the Digital Juice animators and gives you plenty of flexibility. And sometimes you need like a cool background, or you just need something to, make your text pop or something. And I've got some examples I'll show you that I did later so you can get an idea of what you could do using unnecessary roughness. Now we also have light sweeps. Light sweeps make great transitions. It's pretty much exactly what it says. It's light sweeping across the frame. And so, some of them are faster than others, some of them are slower than others, and they are very elegant. And also, you can mix that with light leaks and reflective thoughts, which we'll get to in a second, and they mesh together very well. A lot of these categories mesh together very well. And then we have damage control. Damage control is a very digital damage look. Now we had film clutter, which was that old organic film style, and this is more of the digital style. If you're shooting digital tape and you have errors or problems in the tape, or digital signal problems in your television or something like that, this is the kind of imagery that you would get. It gives your footage a very futuristic, very cool look that is pretty much impossible to achieve unless you can mess up your digital signal somehow. And I would highly recommend using a fake damage instead of trying to damage your own stuff. And we've got glitch effects, which is another damaged style category. It's again some digital messing up of the signal, and we've got television style. We've got chaotic code, which to me looks like I used to shoot digital tape, which you really don't see too many of that anymore. But whenever you'd have a bad tape, you'd get images like this where it looks like the tape's gone bad, or there's something wrong with the actual camera perhaps. And then we have reflective thoughts, which is another beauty category, which looks like you're shooting into glass almost, and you're getting these brilliant reflections. Again, very pretty. You could use these on their own as just backgrounds with some text over it, and I'll show you an example I did with that exact thing. Now, I'm in the juicer. I've got all this installed. We've got these great products here, and I want to use them. How do I get it out of the juicer? Well, here's how you do it. Let's just go to light leaks first of all. Okay, let's check out light leaks, and let's grab, how about Let's go with light and shade. That's a very, very bright one. So we've got light and shade. So I like this. I want to use it in my shot. I'm going to drag it over to the batch panel. I'm going to click on settings, and it's going to take me to the settings dialog here. And all I really want to change is I just want to change where this is going to save. You have lots of options. You can change the actual size. If you don't want to use 1080p, you can use the pixel aspect ratio if you're going to do this in NTSC and you don't want to use square pixels. I mean, you can do different codecs. If you have a system that needs a certain codec, if you're using Avid or you want to make it ProRes, you can go in and change it. By default, it's QuickTime Animation with Alpha, which is almost a lossless sort of compression. And I always just use that because pretty much every sort of editor out there will accept just a QuickTime Animation. But if for some reason you have a compatibility issue, there are options where you can go in and change your codec. But I'm just going to show you right now how to get it out of the juicer, and we'll start working with it because we're focusing on After Effects, and with After Effects, QuickTime Animation works perfectly fine. So I've got this. I've selected to go to the desktop. I'm going to hit render, and now it's going to start rendering this clip, and it'll take a second to render. And once it's done rendering, we'll bring it into After Effects, and I will show you what it looks like, and we'll add it to our timeline, and we'll drag and drop it, and then change the blend mode and show you how it's going to enhance your footage with minimal effort. Once it has finished rendering, this dialog will come up and say, your render is complete. Would you like me to show you the folder where this rendered out to? I'll say okay just to show you. I know it's on the desktop, but if you had it in some other folder, it's going to show you where that is. So that's handy. I'm going to go and hide this, and then we're going to go into After Effects. And inside of After Effects, I'm going to double click here, and we're going to import it from the desktop. There's light and shade. There is the movie. And since we rendered this out as a QuickTime Animation with alpha by default, it's going to ask you in After Effects to interpret that alpha, but it really doesn't have an alpha, so just click OK and don't worry about that. Now, I wanted to show you, we're going to use some video tracks footage first, which video tracks footage is already pristine and perfect, and it's hard to really improve upon that. But that's the whole point of this, is that you can take something that already looks great, add this to it, and it's going to give you just a whole nother look. So let's go into some video tracks, and let me grab, let's do something here. How about this? This is a really nice shot of this pomegranate getting chopped in slow motion. So I'm going to take this clip, I'm going to drag it down to my create new composition, and it's going to create a composition that is the size and length of the clip. And then I'm going to take my light and shade, I'm going to drag that down above, and it's really going to be nothing at first. And this is much larger. My footage isn't 1080p, so I'm going to scale this down, and that's pretty good right there. And you'll see all we can see is this. So we need to change our blend mode. So if you don't have your blend mode up, if you hit toggle switches and modes, that will bring up your blend mode. And first of all, we're just going to start with screen. Screen is kind of the go-to when using this. This is, I would say screen is almost the default to use with drag and drop, because it's going to eliminate all the dark colors and leave the light colors in, and give it a fairly natural look. So on its own, let me go to the end of this here. I'm going to hit N on my keyboard, and that's going to bring in the work area, so that way when I do a RAM preview, it's just going to preview this. But here is the RAM preview without. And it's slow motion. It looks really cool. It takes a long time for the knife to come in, but that's what happens when you shoot super high speed. So you may want to change your render region to only cover from when the knife comes down. So let's change it to like right there. I'll hit B, and that changes it to the work area to right here at the start where the knife's coming down. So here's the knife coming down. Boom, it chops it in half. Looks awesome, right? Okay, now let's see what it looks like when you add the drag and drop to it. Now it's got a whole nother dimension to it. It is, you got this, it almost looks like to me like it's the beginning of some kind of network cooking show. You know, the footage alone looked like at the beginning of a network cooking show, but you know, now you've got this element that you can tie in other pieces of footage with that's going to make it look really cool. And I just think, and that's just with, I mean, that I dropped it in, changed the blend mode already. I've got a different look, and it looks really neat. And we can do different blend modes here. We can go from screen, we can try multiply, and that's going to give you a unique look when you do multiply. Multiply is going to keep the dark and only show the the image when the light is sort of flickering through. So, I mean, that's a completely different style. Maybe you're trying to do some kind of scary kitchen show, kitchen nightmares, and so now you've got this look and it kind of gives you a very dark and sinister kind of look. And we could try, you could do add, which is going to be even brighter than screen. It's going to eliminate the darkness, and then whenever those highlights come in, it's going to really bloom with the add mode, and that looks really cool. And I mean, you could play with this all day. You could do let's try overlay. You could do overlay, and that's going to give you it's going to kind of blend the color and the lightness and darkness values and give you a different look. And I mean, I could sit here all day and just keep playing with blend modes and showing you different styles, and wow, that's extreme right there. But of course you're saying, John, that's video tracks footage. Video tracks footage always looks awesome, so it's really easy to just drag something on that and make it look awesome. Okay, fair enough. That's why I also have some DSLR footage. Now this is some DSLR footage I shot, and let's see, how about we use this. So I'm going to drag this clip onto the create new composition, and it's going to again create a composition that is the size and length of the footage. And so now let's go back to light and shade, and then I'm going to scale that down because it's a little too big. And let's change the blend mode to screen, and let's do a quick RAM preview. I'm going to stop it right there because that's where the action is. And we're going to play it back. You see we've got this like creepy monster finger coming in and hitting this tape recorder, and I mean, already it looks pretty cool. Here's the footage without, so you can just kind of see what's going on. And then here's the footage with. So pretty cool. Now let's go back to multiply. We knew multiply gave us kind of a scary look, so here's what it looks like with multiply. Oh man, that's perfect for like we're doing a title sequence or something. Let me do that real quick. Let me just do a new text, and then scary movie. Like it, something like that. Helvetica's kind of boring. Impact or something, but just down in the corner, and play that back. I mean, is that not just meant to go together? This is not pre-planned. I am doing this completely on the fly because I wanted to show you how spontaneous you can be with this, because you're going to see something and go, oh, that's cool. I know I can do that. Oh, and you're going to get new ideas. And really, the hardest part of using drag and drop is knowing when to say when, because you're going to keep playing and you're going to probably get lost in playing, and you need to go, oh wait, I have a deadline. I need to lock this down and get this done. And you're saying, okay, well, that's not really, the light leaks and all that. That's cool. But, what if I want this to be like a digital modern thriller? Like it needs to be, maybe this monster is stealing people's identities on the internet. Okay, well, let's go into the juicer and let's grab some of this digital damage. Let's go to, how about glitch effects? Let's grab some glitch effects. And that's pretty cool right there. Oh, I like that one. Okay, so digital shuffle. So first I want to clear up my batch here. Let's just clear that out. Drag this over. Settings. And let me do something different instead of QuickTime animation. I just want to show you that you do have the option here. Click on QuickTime movie here and change it from animation. You've got all these options. I'm just going to photo JPEG. We'll back down the quality a little bit. Whoops, not least. I definitely don't want least. 91, that's fine. Click OK. Maybe you don't have a lot of space in your hard drive. And then I'm going to say save to desktop. Click open, render selected. It's going to take a second to render, and once it's done, it will be on the desktop, and I can go into After Effects, import it, drop it on some footage, and show you. All right, so that's complete. I don't want to show the folder because I know exactly where it is, so let's go back to After Effects, double-click, Digital Shuffle, open. Let me get rid of these two layers here. So we have, you remember, just our shot. And now I'm going to take this digital noise here. We scale it down. And I'm going to go to screen, or go to. And it's pretty short. And one thing you can do in After Effects to easily loop something is I can go over to the footage here. I'm going to right click and I'm going to say interpret footage main. And then I'm going to go down to where it says loop. And I'm just going to make that 10 and hit enter. And then once I do, I can just drag this out. And so now it's just going to loop. So let's do a quick RAM preview. These make great transitions. You can just leave it up like it's this damage going on. Let's try a different blend mode. Let's do multiply. I'm a big fan of the multiply with these. I mean, check that out. That's awesome. There is a title sequence waiting to happen. It only shows up, multiply retains the darkness, so that way now whenever there's brightness, it brings out the image instead of vice versa with screen, where screen eliminates blacks in there, and so you only retain the colors. I mean that's awesome. That is, how easy was that? It was literally as easy as drag and drop. And let me show you, I told you I would show you the unnecessary roughness. I did some graphic design treatments with that. This I did in After Effects. This is the radio waves effect, and with a drop shadow and just some text and some unnecessary roughness background. And I mean, it just looks, look at that. It just looks really cool. I just really like the way it looks. It's very different. It's very organic. And then I did, let's see, I did this transition. This one, it's a 3D model. I've got some Motion Designer's Toolkit stuff, and some lens flares, and then that's some film damage, and then there's the light sweeps, and there's the film clutter again right there in the monitor, and you know, that looks cool too. And then I also did one more that was really simple. I did a film clutter, and then I also did the reflections background. And I mean, it just makes a cool background for like a cool title, a cool opening sequence. So I mean, it really is as easy as drag and drop. You drag and drop it in, you change your blend mode, and it's going to give you a look. And the hardest part is going to be deciding on which cool look you want to go with, because you've got tons and tons of options, and it's always going to be different. Every single time you do it, it's going to be different because your footage is going to be different. Or you can add effects to this. I mean, we haven't even gone into any of that, but that is going to be for later tutorials where we'll show you how to get creative with this. This was just a getting started, and I hope it did that for you. My name is John Walker. Thanks for watching how to use drag and drop with Adobe After Effects.